Good afternoon. My name is Hadley Chote, and I am a sales representative for the sheep part of Sullivan Supply. So Sullivan Supply is an agricultural company that's been around since the 1950s, I believe, and we specialize in selling agricultural products for getting animals ready for show. So that has been any species, I believe, with goats, sheep, cattle, and we do sell some rabbit products. With that being said, my prospect is Cody Isbell. He is a middle-aged, around late 30s man who is the manager at HF&C Feeds, which is a feed store in Lubbock. It's high volume traffic. It's located on the west side of town. Cody has been married since 2013. He has no kids, but he does have a history in the agriculture industry. He stock showed growing up. He showed lambs, which is something him and I have in common. And he's also heavily involved in the rodeo industry. I think he did that growing up. I know his family still is. And he has a passion for the cattle industry. So with all of the information personality-wise that I've gathered about Cody, I figured out that he's assertive. So he's somebody that prioritizes business talk and efficiency and kind of a cut to the chase. He's very open to talk about the livestock industry, so I figured if I'm wanting to do a brief introduction, I would bring up something about current stock shows, or maybe how him and I have both showed lambs and we both won the San Antonio stock show growing up. So I would do that, but as far as business stuff, he likes to cut to the chase. Previous relationship that we've had with Cody, our cattle salesman from Sullivan Supply, has already made contact with him about 3 years ago, and we finalized a sale to carry some cattle products of ours in HF&C Feeds. And to my knowledge, from the records that I've pulled, it has been successful, and Cody has been pleased with the outcome. So for the call, I'm going to take into consideration all of the pandemic, the COVID-19 crisis, before I make my call objectives. And he's also going to be at his office the time that I call. So I'm planning on calling and establish a relationship, build rapport, which talk to him about his wife, maybe some background information on the stock show industry. And then I'll also bring up how he has carried some of our cattle products and how that has worked. We can talk about that relationship. And then I'll start by asking him some spin questions. So for my first spin question, I'll ask something. Now on to the opening. So I will start off exactly how I started off the video. I will say, good afternoon, Cody, how are you doing? I'm Hadley Chote. I'm a sales representative for Sullivan Supply, and then I'll go in and I'll tell some about our sales company, about how he's done business with our cattle salesman in the past. And in order to make myself seem reliable and make a positive impression, I will arrive 5 to 10 minutes early. I'll have all the necessary materials that I need, and I'll make sure that I have examples to show him and also prepare for any questions that he might have. I'm also, like I said earlier, going to take into consideration all of the current world crisis stuff. So with that being said, I intend to build rapport by talking to Cody about his current sales in the sheep industry, and I also want to make the connection with our cattle salesman. And on top of that, I also plan to build rapport by talking to him about the San Antonio Livestock Show. I did mention earlier that him and I have both participated and won that show growing up, and so I think that's a cool connection because it's quite the honor to do that. As far as probing goes, which will be the next part, I will ask some spin questions. I'll say something along the lines of, I've noticed the sheep community has been growing in the Lubbock area within the past decade or so. And the next thing I'll ask is, I know Weaver Leather supplies some of their stock show supply right now, and they're our competitors. So I'll say, Has Weaver Leather, gone up on their prices? And if so, how has that affected business? And then I'll ask him, if a customer comes to purchase sheep products and you don't carry any, how will they react to that? So my last probing question will be, if Sullivan Supply could add more variety to their sheep aisle, would that be a valuable asset to their customers? After I've kind of taken into consideration his answers and also the fact that he has an assertive personality style, I can then adjust how I'm going to do my features and benefits to kind of secure the sale and proceed with the finalization steps. So my first thing I'll emphasize is, I'll say, Cody, one advantage about the Lamb Show Starter Kit is that it includes all the necessary products to get a lamb ready for show. I also brought examples to show him. So if I were making this sale, I would bring each individual product as kind of a sample so he can see. And then I'll touch on each individual product as well. In order to secure the agreement, I'll say, so this means that HF&C Feeds will pick up more business from increasing product availability, and this will greatly benefit the store, won't it, Cody? So I'll ask for his opinion there, and that should help me secure the agreement from the first half. And then I'll move into how boot wool has become extremely popular in the sheep industry. As far as showing goes, it's something that a lot of people have emphasized lately, and so I'll tell him, I'll bring evidence that we have 3 grand champion lambs at the Texas Majors this year that have all been using the boot wool product that we offer in the starter kit through Sullivan Supply. And I'll give him the website, www.sullivansupply.com. /Grand Champions, and so he'll be able to see evidence for himself of the banner pictures. And then I'll secure this agreement by saying, because of this, customers will be satisfied with their overall purchase. Wouldn't you agree that this starter kit puts us above all others? And that again asks for his opinion, and that will allow us to move into the next section. I know that he is stock showed sheep growing up, so I'll kind of relate one of the features off of his prior knowledge, and I'll say, Cody, you know, growing up, it was really hard to bathe sheep, and I'm sure if we had some way easier, we would have done that. And for evidence, I'll give him a visual of bringing the mini soap foamer hose attachment, which is this right here. And it's going to make life a lot easier rather than just using a garden hose, which is what him and I used growing up. It's a really cool piece of equipment that we've implemented in the starter product. And so I would say, you know, it's a mini, which means it'll be light and portable, and it can fit in almost any show box, so it won't be a hassle having to walk from pen to wash rack and back again while carrying a sheep. And so in order to secure this agreement, I'll say, you know, after 10 years of showing market lambs, I'm sure you can relate, Cody, that this would be a wonderful asset if we had that back in our day. So now that I've talked about all of the features and benefits of the sale, I'm prepared to handle any objections. And so I know with all the crazy things going on in the world right now regarding the pandemic, that one of the questions he would have would probably regard that. So I wrote, with all of the COVID-19 fuss going on in the world, I'm not really sure it's a great idea to buy a new product. So I'm first going to listen and then restate what he had to say. So what I would respond is, Cody, I hear you. There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding our daily lives at this time. But one thing I'm certain about is the continuation of livestock projects. Lambs are already being born, which means they'll be ready to sale in just a few months. So one cool thing about the livestock industry that I'll emphasize is that no matter what's going on in the world, pandemic or not, it's never going to cease. We're always going to have a need for food and fiber. So that's a really cool aspect of the thing that I'm selling. And then the next objection that I've considered him saying is, most of our customers know that we don't carry a lot of sheep products, so how are we going to get the word out? So once again, I'm going to listen, I'm going to restate, and the way I will handle this is, I knew that advertisement would be a potential problem. So I've already taken that into account. I have printed off flyers and posters that I will give to you if we finalize the sale, and you can hang them up around your store, and I will even help you. I will also post it on our Sullivan Supply Facebook page that has thousands of followers and likes, so he should be able to get some advertisement in the Lubbock area that way. And last, for closing, now we've reached our closing, and I've taken into consideration Cody's personality style, which is assertive. Even though that's not my personality style, I definitely want to tailor to the customer. So with the trial close, I've decided to go with, it's kind of matches his assertiveness, and it's sweet and to the point. I'm going to say, Cody, let's cut to the chase. Shall we talk shipping dates and prices? And then I will prepare myself to answer any further questions he might have or any possible objections with all of the information that I've gathered that he said thus far. Now for the follow-up, if the sale is made, I will obviously have in mind the shipping date, and I will call the day that it's shipped to make sure everything goes smoothly. And then I would like to do an in-store visit 1 week after all of the products are shipped, and I can talk about sales and advertising and how all of that has gone in the first week and any way that I can help him. And after that, I will make a phone call every week for the next month and a half, and then once everything is fine, or if I feel like, he doesn't need to be checked in on and our products are doing well, I will make one more in-store visit after that month and a half, and then from then on, I'll start calling once a month, once every 2 months, and obviously I will give him my personal cell so he can reach out with any questions. But other than that, that's how I plan on closing the sale. Thank you, Dr. Lyford, for listening. Bye-bye.